Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Chubbs Reviews. And today we're talking about a game that probably no one's really heard of: The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel, number one. And Yeah, this gonna be quite a game to explain it. It was a long journey, a 97-hour playthrough for me just to finish the fucking game. And yeah, it is a JRPG Japanese role-playing game. Very long, turn-based combat. Kind of reminds me of the game I can compare it to the most Western in the Western world, America. Uh, Persona 5. It kind of plays like that. Has that sense to it, but it's very different at the same time. It's its own thing. And this game is very unique, like very unique, and that's why I can't really suggest it or say anyone should play it. You just have to kind of go off what I say or other videos of gameplay and stuff like that. If you're a JRPG fan, I would throw this one in your category if that's like all you like to play. But if you're not, then don't. But I am a JRPG fan, and I really like the combat in this game. That is one of its highlights. But overall, I'll tell you guys the premise first off. You play as a guy named Reen Schwarzer, a first-year student at Thor's Military Academy. Thor's Military Academy, and you are randomly put into Class 7 for the beginning of the year. Class 7 is a group. Overall, there's 5 classes. There's 6 classes. Or 5 classes, and then there's Class 7. They skipped Class 6. I don't know why. That was a joke in the game. But, and, the classes are usually are divided amongst commoners and nobles. The one class 1 and 2 is nobles, class 3 through 5 is commoners, and they're split up completely. They're the wealthy and the poor, or people that are born into families of wealth and ruling and kingdom and whatever, shit like that. And but class 7 is unique because it's mixed. It's one of the first classes. Actually, look kind of good, don't it? It's one of the first classes to actually it is the only first and only class to have a mix of commoners and nobles, and that's pretty much your teammates in the game. You get 4 on the field in a combat at the time, and like 2 or 3 support members at a time. And you pretty much you learn. You go through the game is just learning. It's game 1. I'm repeating myself a lot here and stuttering. I apologize. It's the first game, so it's kind of a backstory to everyone, and the whole game is like leading up. Like the whole game is just like preparing shit and giving backstories to people and kind of leaving things open. And that is kind of one of its flaws, but at the same time, it is the first game of a 4 series. There are 4 other Trails of Cold Steel games. Whew, it's gonna kill me, isn't it? I'm gonna take my time through all 4 of them though. This is my first one. Won't see part 2 review for a while, um, especially with Persona coming out pretty soon. Anyway, this game was a lot of fun. In some sense, it was really slow at times because a lot of the game is you get bonding points. Your daily routines here, your schedule. You start off on a free day in which you just get some activities or quests to do from the student council members, and they give you tasks to do. And then you also have to go out and task, like sometimes it's just go find a cat, help this person, talk to their crush. Sometimes it's go fight a monster. It's always different shit, and it makes you really feel like you're in a school. Put it that way. Makes you feel like you're helping out student council. And overall though, and then you during the times of your field studies, or not field study, your free time, you get bonding points. Your bonding points are shit you use to bond with your teammates, your classmates. You kind of develop stories with them a little bit more, and develop their story, learn who they are. You learn that Elliot is the guy that plays a violin, and he's really excited about festivals coming up. Or you learn about Elisa and how she's at her not crossbow, it's a rugby team. She's a rugby player, and she's all this shit going on in rugby. That's one of the unique things about this game. It's a very unique RPG thing in the sense that you get 2 places to explore. Usually, you get your academy, the premises of the academy, and the town that's right next to. And you can pretty much talk to every single NPC, including like first years or second years, because you are first year. Other people in other classes, pretty much, or just regular people in town. And sometimes develop or not, like pretty much every time. If you read those, go to those people throughout the story of the game, they have stories themselves, like side characters. Too bad there's no dialogue there or voice acting there. It's all you have to read, and that's why I didn't read everything. But also I did get 97 hours in this game, because I read some like there's shit like kids playing and bullying each other kind of, and then they learn to make up, and that goes out for like a week, or not a week, but you see that story develop a couple times. Shit, Elisa has like a whole rivalry with a girl named Ferris in her rugby team shit, her rugby club. So like there's different stuff like that that's developing, and they maybe they turn out to be friends or not. It's shit like that, and you can completely miss that stuff if you don't look at every other NPC. But sometimes it adds a lot of context to some conversations you're having one on one with your classmates. Um, you do all that, and then by the end of that, you're usually given your field study, or I guess a practical exam, which is kind of like your teacher making you fight a boss. Those were kind of unmemorable, but I would say the field studies were the other big part of the game, is which you go out, kind of go on a field trip and go to a place that pretty much gives you political uh, insight into the country that you're currently in Arabonia. A lot of political shit is happening here. The game is very politically driven. Before I forget, I remember seeing one of the kids, because this game is very it's kind of weebish. I mean, it's pretty weebish. And I'm a weeb, so I don't take any offense. I like this shit, even though I do like the game more for the combat than the story, in this sense. But it had some cheesy dialogue and a lot of self-aware dialogue, and sometimes really good writing. There's so much writing here that, of course, some of it's gonna be good and some of it's gonna be really bad. Because that's like 97 hours. I would say it's 70 hours of just fucking reading and dialogue and listening, and it's not terrible. It's just a lot, and it's very slow paced. The game itself, I'm kind of just rambling now, but just bear with me. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this game, and no one even is gonna play this game that I know of. I will, and if you're a JRPG man, listen out here. But there was a turbo mode in this game where you press the left analog stick and the game goes 2 times as fast. Like everything goes 2 times as fast. Not dialogue as much, like it's read at an acceptable time, but like you just do things if you know how to do them 2 times as fast. And at first I thought that was like a quality of life thing, like thank you. But then I realized it's because they know the game is too fucking slow paced. It is so slow. You don't get any build up or huge really turn until like the last 20 minutes of the 90-hour experience. It's so short lived even then. But it is cool. The twist was cool, and like the whole build up, the whole story for what was there was cool. Like I said, there was no really main story in this to me until the end of the game. It was more about these kids going out into a field study, your group. You see the perspective of everyone else's from Green Schwarzer's eyes, and you learn about their history, who their parents are, if they're one of like the higher up nobles of one of the 4 great houses, or a fucking nomad, or a commoner, or a witch, or whatever. There's always there's little shit like that, and you kind of go out and it happens to be at these people's places, and you kind of learn their backstory, and then learn what political problems going on there, and you accidentally kind of somehow Scooby-Doo your way into the problem and solve it. You just not solve it, but you get through it, or do what you got to do. You solve it essentially. But it's always kind of cool. But that's the entire game, all 6-7 chapters, until the very end when it's like, oh, this is kind of why they all make sense and got put together. And also the villains, it's a terrorist group in a sense. Kind of get more backstory to them and explain them. But it comes very late, and it's only a few things are really answered compared to the thousands of questions this game leaves open. And I get that it is the first one of many to come of this game, but it didn't leave me extremely satisfied at the same time. And this game is very flawed. It's not the perfect game. A lot of games are flawed, and this one has a lot of them. And I expect it to do nothing but get better from here. Excuse me while I take a drink water. Anyway, yeah, I do. Anyway, the combat itself, I didn't talk about the combat yet. My favorite part. This is why I play JRPGs. This is why I'm kind of a weeb. I love turn-based combat that is deep and very engaging. This was super engaging compared to like a South Park combat system, which I know it's completely different. Like, I shouldn't even compare them. But what the hell is happening outside? But South Park wasn't that engaging in combat, or it tried to be, and it did it wrong. This game did engaging combat so well for a turn-based game, in which you got your regular attack move with your weapons. You got your arts, which is your magic, that don't really come back. They don't really come back unless someone has an ability that gives you more arts, or you get to a resting station, you get your arts back. Then you get your crafts, which are like special moves with your weapon, and that regenerates when you either get hit or do damage. So you can kind of keep doing that shit, and then when you get 100 of your craft points, you can do your ultimate. And everyone's ultimate, that's where all the, the style of the game went. I forgot to even talk about that shit too. This game has like no style anywhere, and it's really shitty graphics to be honest, and shitty animations throughout, and never gets like any proper cutscene, kind of like an anime cutscene that Persona like gets. It never gets that until these people do their ultimate ability. They kind of get one, and those are cool. And it is kind of an old game, so yeah, whatever. And it's the first one, but damn, I wanted something. I just got little narration looking scenes. I didn't get shit for cutscenes throughout all my time. The soundtrack was really good too, but there was like 6 or 7 songs. Like that's it for 90 hours. It felt like, so you kind of hear them all by the end of the game, which they're catchy and good. Not complaining really, but there should have been more. It sucks that I'm comparing a lot of this to Persona. Persona 5 Rail coming out very soon. Catch a review and impressions video. Me being over the top hyped. That is my favorite game of all time. Yeah, anyway. And maybe that's why I'm so hard on this game. I just expect it to be better from here. This is the first one. This whole game is an origin story. It is a 90-hour origin story of this class. Because now we're all either going to separate or we're going to be in year 2. We're all going to grow even more. Because that's all it is. It's all character development between you and this class, and sometimes it hits and it's really good. It very rarely didn't hit. It was a lot. It was just a lot of dialogue, kind of over the top sometimes. And if you want to spend your whole life playing these games, then yeah. But I didn't. So overall, I guess I should give a final rating here. I don't think I can remember much else to talk about. Final rating is for me a 6 out of 10. It's not an average game. I almost went to a 5. But it's slightly above average. My experience was slightly above average. It had a bunch of unique elements, and the gameplay was the combat was very engaging. But I don't know if that just affected the video or not. But it just kind of drug out. Did a lot of little things wrong. Didn't have a lot of style. It's very political. Like I remember the dude was petting a cat, and he said, "Don't monopolize all the cat." Like what kid says that? What Elliot? No, that's not what kids say. It was weird shit like that. But in this type of world where the whole game is politically filled, it is a political story, pretty much. It does it right, though. It's not super boring. It makes politics interesting for what it is. But, that's all it is. And it had a really good ending. The ending was really superb. It kind of made the whole game better. Worth it in a sense. I wouldn't say better, but worth it. And I am excited to play the next ones in like 2 years. After I actually get to that game. Yeah, 6 out of 10 experience for me. I'm trying to think about missing anything. It was really cute and fun. You get your teammates, your classmates. I'm just rambling. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.